Most people walk into Walmart, grab what looks familiar off the shelf, and assume that because it's been there for years, it must be fine. It's the biggest grocery retailer in the country. It should be safe. And that assumption, that comfortable, convenient assumption, is exactly what this video is going to challenge. Because there are specific products on Walmart's shelves right now that carry ingredients most health-conscious shoppers would never knowingly bring home. Not because they're obviously bad, not because they look suspicious, but because the labels are designed to look reassuring while bearing the details that actually matter. Today, I'm walking you through 12 of those products, and then I'm going to give you 5 that actually hold up when you flip the package over and read what's inside. Walmart moves more food than almost any retailer on earth, which means the decisions their buyers make about ingredient quality ripple out into millions of households every single week. When you're operating at that scale, cost pressure is relentless, and cost pressure, more often than not, gets passed on to the ingredients. That's not a conspiracy, it's just math. Cheaper seed oils instead of quality fats, high fructose corn syrup instead of cane sugar, artificial preservatives to extend shelf life. These are the trade-offs that show up in your grocery cart when a company is optimizing for price point rather than nutritional integrity. The good news is that once you know what to look for, it takes about 10 seconds to check a label, so let's go through the ones worth checking. Great Value vegetable oil is probably in more Walmart shoppers' kitchens than any other item on this list, and that's exactly why it leads off. This oil is predominantly soybean oil, highly refined, processed at high heat, and stripped of most of its natural properties in the process. Studies have raised questions about whether diets heavy in refined soybean oil may be linked to increased inflammatory markers over time. You'll also find no clarity on whether the soybeans used are genetically modified, which matters to a growing number of consumers. For a product this foundational to how people cook every day, the lack of transparency is worth noting. Great Value. White bread is next, and the front of the package says enriched, like that's a compliment. Here's what enriched actually means in practice. The natural nutrients were stripped out during processing, and then a synthetic version was added back in. The ingredient list also includes azodicarbonamide, a dough conditioner that's been banned as a food additive in the European Union and Australia. It's legal here. But it's the kind of ingredient that, once you see it, is hard to unsee. Equate meal replacement shakes show up in a lot of shopping carts because they look like a smart, affordable nutrition choice. But when you go through the ingredient list, you're looking at a product built around corn maltodextrin and artificial sweeteners, including acesulfame, potassium, and sucralose. Some researchers have suggested that certain artificial sweeteners may be associated with changes in gut microbiome composition over extended use, though the science is still developing. For something people are drinking daily as a health strategy, the ingredient quality here doesn't match the packaging promise. Great Value fruit snacks are marketed directly at kids, and the branding is cheerful and colorful, but these contain red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1, synthetic dyes that have been the subject of ongoing regulatory scrutiny in multiple countries. The European Union requires warning labels on foods containing these dyes indicating they may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. No such label is required in the US. If you have kids eating these regularly, that's worth knowing. Market-side Caesar salad dressing looks like a quick, easy addition to a healthy meal. The problem is that it leads with soybean oil and contains calcium disodium EDTA as a preservative, a synthetic chelating agent that's used to maintain color and extend shelf life. It also contains added sugars in a product most people assume is savory and sugar-free. This isn't the kind of thing that shows up in a single serving, but for a dressing people use multiple times a week, the ingredient density adds up. If you've been buying this brand, you need to hear this next one. Great Value peanut butter, the classic affordable staple, contains fully hydrogenated vegetable oils. Now, fully hydrogenated is technically different from partially hydrogenated in terms of trans fat content, but the process still raises questions about the final fat composition. It also contains added sugar and molasses, making it meaningfully different from a 2-ingredient peanut butter. For a product where the only necessary ingredients are peanuts and maybe a little salt, this formulation is doing a lot out of extra work. Great Value. Microwavable popcorn is convenient, inexpensive, and genuinely hard to put down, but the flavoring on the extra butter variety contains diacetyl compounds. Diacetyl is a chemical associated with a serious lung condition in factory workers exposed to it over time, and while consumer exposure is lower, some pulmonologists have flagged concerns about microwave popcorn steam inhalation. The product also contains TBHQ, a petroleum-derived antioxidant used to prevent the oil from going rancid. It's approved for use in food, but it's not something most people expect to find in a movie night snack. Market-side deli sliced turkey is one of those products that seems like a clean, lean protein option. But almost every pre-sliced deli meat at Walmart, including this one, contains sodium nitrite as a preservative. Sodium nitrite has been associated in epidemiological research with potential links to certain health outcomes at high consumption levels. The World Health Organization classifies processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen based on consumption patterns. This isn't about the occasional sandwich, it's about understanding what's in the product when it's a regular part of your weekly routine. Great value. Syrup is not maple syrup. It's corn syrup with artificial maple flavoring and caramel color, specifically color 4-MEI caramel coloring, which has been flagged by the state of California as a potential carcinogen. If you or your family uses syrup regularly, this is a straightforward label to check, and the difference between this and a genuine maple syrup is visible from the ingredient list in about 3 seconds. Sam's Choice frozen pizza tries to straddle the line between budget and quality branding, but the ingredient list includes modified food starch, artificial flavors, and sodium levels that run high even for frozen pizza. The cheese blend lists enzyme-modified cheese, a processed cheese ingredient that bears little resemblance to the real dairy product. It's the kind of item where the value positioning comes directly from ingredient shortcuts. Great Value chocolate sandwich cookies are the store-brand version of a familiar treat, and the main issue here is the use of high-fructose corn syrup alongside added sugars, plus artificial vanilla flavoring in place of any real vanilla extract. HFCS has been associated in some research with effects on appetite regulation and metabolic response that differ from other sugar sources. This is a cookie. It was never going to be health food. But as a product consumed by children, it's worth knowing how it's formulated. Finally, Great Value ranch dressing contains monosodium glutamate, disodium EDTA, and artificial flavors alongside soybean oil as the primary fat source. Some people are sensitive to MSG and experience headaches or other reactions. More broadly, this is a product where you could put together a genuinely better version with 5 ingredients, but the commercial formulation has nearly 24. Now here's the part of this video I genuinely enjoy making, because there are real options at Walmart worth your trust, and you don't have to walk out of there empty-handed. ISIve. Buy Whole Foods Market products available at some Walmart locations, and through Walmart's online marketplace include an organic peanut butter made with just one ingredient, peanuts. If you can find it, it's one of the most straightforward purchases you can make. Organic Prairie Deli Sliced Turkey is a genuinely different product than what you'll find in the standard deli section. It's uncured, meaning it uses no added sodium nitrites, and it's made from organic fed animals. It costs more, but if deli meat is a staple in your household, this is the version that doesn't carry the same ingredient concerns. Wild Planet canned sardines and salmon are available in Walmart's grocery aisle and represent some of the most nutrient-dense, clean-label proteins in the store. 2 ingredients, fish and maybe a little salt. No fillers, no preservatives, no additives. These punch well above their price point. RX bars have made it into Walmart's snack aisle, and they're worth grabbing when you need something portable. The ingredient list is on the front of the package. Egg whites, dates, nuts. That's the whole story. No artificial sweeteners, no synthetic dyes, nothing you need to look up. Bob's Red Mill Oats, old-fashioned rolled oats, nothing added, are consistently available at Walmart and represent one of the simplest, cleanest breakfast options in the store. If you're currently buying flavored instant oatmeal packets, checking this one out is a worthwhile switch. Here's what I want you to walk away knowing. The store doesn't decide what goes into your body. You do. Walmart is one of the most accessible grocery retailers in the country, and walking away from it entirely isn't realistic or even necessary. What's realistic is spending 30 extra seconds flipping packages over before they go in your cart. The 12 products on the avoid list share a common thread. They use cheaper ingredient substitutes, synthetic additives, or processing shortcuts that better formulated alternatives have figured out how to avoid. The 5 on the safe list prove it's possible to find clean options even at a mass-market retailer. If this video gave you something useful, share it with someone who does a lot of Walmart shopping. A parent, a roommate, someone feeding a family on a budget. They deserve this information too. And if there are specific Walmart products you want me to look at in a future video, drop them in the comments. I read them. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this is exactly the kind of content we keep making here. See you in the next one.